what sets Hammer 90 apart from other training programs? I mean, we have Jack Street, we have Field Strong, we have this team training model, but what sets Hammer 90 apart? And specifically, how are we going to target body composition, mental discipline, and accountability? And I think we know what levers to pull because we've pulled them pretty good for the mass collective of guys that have been following it on the back end.
The big differentiator is really going to be on that community side. And, we have the Discord now. So if you're in any of the training programs, you can be on the Discord, and there's a good community across programs in that. But the beauty, I think, of Hammer 90 is it's a smaller group, which forces an exclusivity, but also forces a little bit more, how do I say, like presence from each individual, right? So we have however many thousands of people following the programs, but on the Discord, there's probably, 100 or so regular inputs, right? Different people getting on there. And then otherwise it's like a one-off or so of people coming in, asking for movement substitutions or things like that. But with Hammer 90, it's going to be a set group. So 30 people plus myself. And then I'm going to help, we're going to onboard a couple new nutrition coaches throughout it as well. So a real tight knit group, which is going to force that community aspect, that interaction, which then it much like we've seen doing it on the back end with a few of us, I believe that forced interaction where you can't really hide forces compliance, right? Because then it's like, man, they can see me. I'm not just like a number. I'm not just a name, but they know they're following me. And so that's the big thing. The training is also, it's going to be a separate program. That's the one that we've been testing. So I can say firsthand that this training is legit. Like it's pretty, I'll say pretty potent training. But then also we're going to kind of melt a little bit of like an educational aspect to it. So every week we're going to do within the group, we're going to host a Zoom call and then we'll record it for the group. So if you can't make it, not a big deal, but we'll do a little bit of question and answer there. But also each week I'm going to try and instill little like micro habits that you can stack along the way. Because the goal of this, 90 days, we want to lose some weight, we want to get shredded, all that. But the real goal is learn these things in these 90 days, this like 90-day intensive, and then carry the habits throughout. So you don't just gain whatever weight back or kind of fall back to what you were beforehand. So those educational pieces will also be kind of a integral part of it.
So how important is the accountability piece in Hammer 90 when we get deep into the tougher phases? I know for our cut, in the beginning, everybody kind of made it was like the first 4 weeks, everybody made pretty decent progress. And then there was like this dark day where all of a sudden you're stepping on and like, you might be up a pound, down a pound, and like this kind of linear progression of weight loss just kind of stalled. And then all of a sudden it was kind of like, we're in this dark days. And then all of a sudden everybody kind of caught up to the same place. And then we hit the wall where everybody was like, man, I have been eating my calories. I've been getting all my work done. I've been doing everything. And I've just kind of stalled out and hit a bit of a ceiling or not a ceiling, just really just a bit of a wall. And then from there, it was just constant with like, hey, just keep doing what you're doing. We know this is going to work. We're going to break through. We're going to break through. And then, while some people were looking to pull the ripcord and I haven't lost and this, and we're going back and forth, the guys that stayed consistent and just said, hey, you know what, I'm going to keep moving the dirt. I'm going to keep moving this right direction. Those are the ones that smashed through. And, now we're 2 weeks out and pretty easy within striking distance. Having somebody to reach out to like us and the coaches to be able to guide you through this and allow you the confidence to stay the course, I think is so fundamental.
Yeah. I mean, that accountability, I think, is what makes this doable. And for me, even it's stretched beyond our group of guys because my wife started like checking me as well. Cause I would be, 8:30 would roll around. It's like, man, I kind of want a sweet treat. And she would be like, you serious? You're going to do it? And it's like, okay, like, thank you. But no, I think that's it because man, the first, 20 pounds, kind of you're excited, like it was working. But then like for me, I hit that 225 mark and it's like, I am doing everything I can. And it just wasn't happening. And so if I was left to my own devices, I could have easily said, hey, you lost 20 pounds. This is good. Like you can walk away happy. You're looking good, feeling good. But even you and I were on the phone the other day and you were like, I don't know, man, I just want to be done. And it's like, no way, man. Like we got it. Like but I think it's nice just being able to say that, right? And like telling people like, man, I just want to stop, because then it's like, no, like we can't, like we come too far. The only hard part right now, my wife is getting really good at making sourdough. So she's trying all these new, and it's just like, it's like, I literally will hold off like 10, if I know she's baking a loaf of something that day, I'll hold off like 10 grams of carbs just so I can like try that at the end of the day. The sourdough is the only, like, that's my Achilles heel right now. Like the funny thing is, I don't know about you, like we talk about the hunger, there was a gap there, probably like the middle like 4 or 5 weeks where it was like, man, like I want to eat everything. I'm going to bed hungry. I'm going to bed because I'm hungry and I can't stand it anymore. Mm-hmm. But really these last few weeks, the hunger's there still, but it's kind of just like an annoyance. Mm-hmm. Like I'm almost inoculated to it, where it's just like, I'm hungry. But again, I think through the habits of, that we've built over the last few months, it's like, I'm just hungry, and that's just what it is.
For me, and I know this isn't universal for everybody, so don't take it as that. For me, I know if I'm not hungry, I'm not really burning fat. I think that's like the body's trigger. When I'm in caloric deficit, we're training, we're lifting weights, we're doing everything that's required. Like my hunger, and like I ate this food, but I'm still hungry. Like I did my aerobic work today, and I know that the training is going well. Just for the fact that like I'm PRing all of my lifts. We were doing slight dumbbell inclines, and I went over, and I hadn't broken out the 130s and in a while, and ended up hitting that for a pretty easy set of like 7-8 reps. Like my conditioning feels fucking great. And I am surprised that being in a deficit the way that we are, leaning out, doing everything, and I'm down also like 17 pounds, that to PR all my lifts just means that carrying that excess body fat is doing nothing for performance. The removing of the fat, I mean, the systemic inflammation reduction, just for the fact that in the morning I like shoot out of bed like somebody kicked me in the ass.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the most, I mean, obviously aesthetically things have changed, so I noticed that, but yeah, just it's like there was just like not a fog, like a brain fog, but just it took longer to warm up and things like that. And now I can roll out to the garage at like 4:30 in the morning and get right into it. Like I don't have to kind of rev myself up. So I do think a lot of that is just from dropping the fat. It's just non-functional tissue, right? And nothing but inflammation and things like that. I also think the PRing again is kind of part of due to the accountability, because I'll have, Pollock and I kind of work out at the same time. And so depending on where we are in the workout, we'll see the other person's weight. Last week, I think I did doing those Bulgarians, I bumped up to 65s, and he like immediately shot me a text. He's like, fucking 65s. I was like, yeah, man, I like went for it today. He's like, Jesus, I'm sitting over here with 45s in my hand, just struggling. And then, then I look at the scoreboard and it's like, he bumped it up. So again, back in the day, it used to be you had a group, and you have, the Brazilians that come over, or you and Arash still train and stuff, but a lot of us are training on our own. Yep. And I don't think we realized how important it was just to have somebody to, shoot the shit with, or, kind of give jabs at each other. I mean, because it just brings spirits up in a moment when you're deep in a deficit like this, dude, spirits can be low really easily. So like to make it fun, I think is important. And that comes from the interaction, and so I think it is interesting PRing everything. I also think it's part of the equation of like, man, if you've lost 15, 20 pounds, that's 15 less pounds that your body weighs that you can put on the barbell.
But I mean, for years we've said on the podcast, muscle is extremely insulin sensitive. Fat's oxidative. And the more fat you carry, the more systemic inflammation you're going to have. Mm-hmm. And I wonder, as you age, if things like arthritis and some of these other issues become much more prevalent when you carry a high amount of body fat consistently. So I know that dropping the body fat, it like just like no ache anywhere in my body. And it's an interesting thing, because, you have aches and pains, some of the issues maybe within the knee, like within my shoulder, like everything feels better than it's ever felt. And the only thing I could think of, it's been a while since I've been this low in body fat. And I think the reason being is just the competitive nature and the community aspect. Like we put out a general program that everybody had to kick in some dough, and then we set up a Discord, had I wrote a mission statement, had a plan. This is what we're going to do. These are the end games. This is how you get to the final. And that piece, I think, adding all those things were, obviously we needed, but really just trying to figure out the pieces of Hammer 90 so that when we push it out to the world and the people that are listening to this and the people that follow the training programs, there's going to be something pretty dope for them to follow.
Yeah. And I think part of it too was there's 7, 8 of us, right? And we all individually were able to like look in the mirror and be like, yeah, man, I got to lean out. Like, we weren't pushing 30% or whatever, but it's like, I know what I can be, and I've just been soft on myself. Yeah. And so like that initial admittance of like, I got to tighten it up, and having this group of other people who are also at that point where it's like, I know what I can do and I haven't been doing it, that kind of self-checking, self-accountability to kick it off. I think that made it nice too, because then that kind of set the tone where it's like, I remember, I think one of the days I did my conditioning in the morning instead of lifting, and you shot a message on the Discord and you're like, what, you're giving up lifting now? And it's like just stuff like that where it's like, no, man, like just changed it up, but holding each other accountable. Cause it's like, hey, we all, it's almost like we entered this like silent agreement where it's like, we all are going to do this. So do it. Right. Cause I don't want to, a lot of the times when I'm feeling like, on the fence about it or whatever, like, oh, I don't know if I want to get out there, blah, blah, blah. More often than not, it's like, yeah, but Arash and John are doing it. I know Pollock's out there doing it. So like, I got to do it because they're doing it, and I don't want to be that guy who's in the group who just kind of did it. Yeah.
No, you would never live that down. I mean,
exactly.
Put on a playlist, drink some coffee, funnel a little bit of anger and just kind of power through it. But I will say, dropping the body fat and feeling good. And also it was nice to go to Canton for the Hall of Fame deal and show up and see people. And then I would go to dinner and have people be like, God damn, dude, you're in fucking good shape. And, cause most of the time when you see guys, they go the other way.
Yeah, exactly.
I was there and, ran into some of the guys that I played against who have gone the other way, and to show up in shape and have people be like, fuck, dude, you're looking good. That was the type of, feather in the cap I needed. So, I think it worked out multiple ways. I mean, one, obviously that, but also, man, I feel good, and I'm excited, and I'm excited to have everybody sense this change and really get on board with it.
Yeah. And I think that last point, like for whatever reason, the vanity side of things is kind of poo-pooed these days. Like you're kind of like an asshole if you're trying to go for the aesthetics, but fuck, man, like it does feel good. Like catching myself in the mirror, like when I wake up and it's just like, damn, like I fucking look good. Like that mentality, whether it's your ego or whatever, it's just like, that's a great way to start the day, because the opposite is a shitty way to start the day.
Yeah. Like where you're like, oh, I'm fat, I look old, I'm tired.
Yeah, these love handles, I can't oh my God. But now it's like, I fucking look good. Like I'm happy with this. And so it kind of gets the ball going,
So I knew that I was pretty deep in this thing where I wear 38s on for shorts, and I had to throw a belt on the 38s now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the only downside is like, I got to fucking buy some new clothes now. Like,
I mean, like I'm like, dude, I forgot the belt on these, and I'm like pulling them up, and I'm like, the fact that I'm having to belt up 38s is pretty good. I mean, that's pretty legit. But yeah, man, it was nice to go out and see everybody and feel pretty good. But the joke, what was funny when I rolled with Nicky Rod, he's like, how old are you? And I told him, he's like, damn, I would have never guessed that. And I was like, well, how many dudes my age? He's like, none, they're all dead. And I was like, all right. He's like, you look like your age in reverse. I'm like, I'll take it. Thank you. So that was fun. All right. So I think we got the mission laid out, but can you walk us through a little bit of the structure? Like, how does this thing evolve over from week 1 to, week 12 plus?
Yeah. So, the website guys have done a really good job putting together this really slick kind of web app. So it's all centralized there, training, nutrition. we got some cool stuff so individuals can see in terms of tracking how their nutrition's going. Because like you said, when we did it, like weight loss initially was great and then it plateaued. So we're going to be able to kind of visualize all that, which makes it a little bit easier to handle. So all that's going to be going on. But then within that also, each week we're going to have within the challenge kind of micro challenges, right? And those are going to kind of be weaved into those educational components. So like I mentioned, each week we're going to have these Zoom meetings where we talk about like almost like a theme. Like each week has like a theme, and those themes and those Zooms are to help build the habits and kind of stack the habits along the way. So initially we'll talk about like the really, what we'll call like big rocks, right? Like, okay, this week, write down a shopping list. And, you know, for some people it's like, well, no duh, but it's like, hey, a lot of people, they go to the fucking store and they just kind of wing it. And that's when they end up buying all sorts of stuff. So it's like, plan your shopping list. But then as we go along, it'll be more kind of nuanced, smaller rocks that like, hey, if, you know, as long as we got the big rocks in place, we're going to see a lot of progress. These small rocks are just kind of like the icing on the cake. And those are kind of the real, you know, we can talk about like not necessarily getting good sleep, but like what are you going to do the half hour before sleep, like things like that. And so, throughout the course of the 12 weeks or the 90 days, we're going to build all those things up. So hopefully, again, like you mentioned, when day 91 hits, it's not just like, all right, I'm going to nuke all this progress and go back to what I'm doing. You know, like by then you will have a new lifestyle. Because that's really, when we talk about nutrition, and I tell all my clients this as well, when people think about nutrition, they think immediately like macros and meal planning, but it's like nutrition is just lifestyle management. It just happens to be the aspect of your lifestyle that's like most easily managed, but it's really just a vehicle for us to manage all the stresses of your life, and kind of get a handle on all that. And so really when we talk about Hammer 90, yes, it's a nutrition challenge and training program, but really it's like a lifestyle challenge or like a lifestyle transformation program. And so over the course of those 90 days, that will be the goal, is that people make those changes, and maybe not all of them stick, but the reality is if some of them stick, you're still going to be better on the other side. But then also because it's just 30 of us, hopefully we build kind of more of a longer lasting connection, right? So we make some connections here. Day 91 hits. It's not like Stand By Me where we all scatter, right?
Sure.
Like, hey, we're still all here, still in the normal Discord. So check in on each other, and things like that. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of it. I'm really excited about the web app because it is super cool. What Kyle and Harry and those guys have putting together. So I think that'll be awesome as well. Yeah, no, I mean, it's cool because we can deliver kind of a more boutique experience with the nutrition and all that other stuff. So, you know, on which we designed just specifically for this little challenge, which I think would be a lot of fun. And then it just allows us to get just more granular and be able to, you know, use the Discord and have people in it. So I'm very excited for it. So, with that signed, sealed, and delivered, you'll be getting an email. You'll see us kind of bang this stuff out, and we'll see if we can move forward. And I'm excited to get started with Hammer 90. I should say real quick, that I will probably not be doing the nutrition because I don't know if I'll have another 20 pounds to lose, but myself and the two other coaches I'm bringing on, we're absolutely going to be doing the training with you guys, or with whoever jumps on it, which I think that, like we've talked about, is very important. The walking the walk and looking the part and doing the things. I mean, that's important as well. So it's not just going to be us standing in our ivory tower shouting down to you. Like, we're going to be doing it with you.